Hello and welcome to Microsoft Word 2021. My name is Mo Jones and I'm happy to guide you through this advanced tutorial today. We have several lessons prepared for you. We'll cover some of the advanced features while navigating the refreshed interface. I look forward to exploring these features with you. Remember, this is an interactive tutorial. I will occasionally remind you to pause the video and practice what you've learned. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. If you're looking to earn certificates and watch videos without ads, sign up for Learnit Anytime, our dedicated online training subscription service. Check the link in the description for more information. If you have any questions you want answered by one of our instructors, please join our off-site community. The link is in the description as well. As always, if this course has exercise files, you'll find them in the video description below. Let's dive in. Welcome again. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the objectives that we'll be learning today. I do want to point out a few things. First of all, I am logged in with my Microsoft account, and I do have this document saved in the cloud. As you can see, my autosave is enabled over here. And I have shared this file with someone so that we can collaborate on this file as well. I also have my navigation pane turned on, so I can kind of keep track of all of my headers here as well. As you can see, we do have headers that are applied for all of the lessons that we'll be covering today. So in lesson 1, we'll talk about manipulating images. We'll move on to lesson 2 by using custom graphic elements. In lesson 3, we'll talk about collaborating and take a look at the new tools that 2021 has to offer us. We'll go ahead and add some document referencing and some links as well. We'll talk about securing a document. In lesson 6, we'll talk about enabling forms right inside of Microsoft Word. And we'll finish up with lesson 7 by creating some macros. So go ahead, get ready, and come right back and we'll jump right in. Let's get started with lesson 1. I'm going to expand my header here. So we're going to insert a picture. And once we have that picture inserted, we'll go ahead and adjust the appearance of that picture. And then we'll go ahead and add some other media elements here as well. So of course, if you want to be able to insert a picture, you need to come up to our Insert tab here. And in our Illustrations group, we'll go ahead and insert a picture. But it's really up to you what type of picture you want to insert. So notice we can insert from our device. We can search for a stock image, which is royalty free. Or we can go ahead and search for an online picture. We can search the Creative Commons. Just make sure that we give credit to the author of the image there as well. I'll go ahead and use the safe option. I'll search the stock image. And this library is growing. And why would you want to use a picture in Microsoft Word? I thought pictures were just for PowerPoint. Well, they're not. Pictures can really convey a really great message. And so what I want to do is just kind of convey that I'm learning here today. So I don't like to use people in my pictures. I want to protect them. So I can either use this here, but I'm not learning, math. So I'll click on this one here, which just signifies a goal of 100%. I'll go ahead and insert that. And now I can go ahead and just resize it. Of course, we want to resize from the 4 edges and not from the sides or the top. The edges allows us to keep the aspect ratio or the balance of the picture as well. So that looks pretty good. I'll change the layout option here. I want it to be top to bottom so that it's kind of separating my text here. So right there. I'll just move it until I'm happy right in between my 2 bullets here. Okay, that looks good, but it doesn't really convey what I'm trying to communicate here. I'm going to be learning a lot. I'll go ahead and remove this picture. And I did take a screenshot of my PowerPoint title slide earlier. So maybe I'll go ahead and insert that. Click on my Insert tab. This time I'll insert from this device. And here it is right here. Go ahead and grab that. Very good. Go ahead and adjust that to my liking. Maybe like that. And make sure it's top and bottom. And right there. If I move it to the left, right, just want to make sure that everything is lined up properly here. Okay, this looks pretty good, but I don't want all of this picture. I kind of want to remove some of the background on this picture. Now remember, whenever you click on an element or an object in Microsoft Word, you get a contextual menu that allows you to apply other formatting. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that since I've clicked on my picture here. And what I want to do is I want to take advantage of this remove background tool. This is also available in PowerPoint. I'll use it here in Word. And it's doing its job. It's kind of thinking that I want to keep the trees in the picture and remove everything else. But that's not what I want. So I have a few options. What I want to do actually, I just want this portion, just the bottom banner, to kind of use this to highlight my document here. And so what I can do is I can either mark areas to remove, or I can go ahead and mark areas that I want to keep. I think I'll try mark some areas that I want to keep here. Try and draw a straight line here. And let's see. Takes just a little bit of work here. I'll draw some circles. Oh, that's not what I want. Click away from it. Let's click back. Mark areas to keep here. Now, obviously, if you have a pen or some kind of writing device, this would be a lot easier for you. Okay. So here we go. Just be careful with grabbing the edges there, as you can see. Kicked me out a few times. And we're getting closer here. Here we go. All right, so now I'll go ahead and just remove those other areas up here. So this time I'll try to draw some kind of a rectangle. Okay, very good. That looks good. So I'll go ahead and keep these changes. Very good. So now I removed part of that picture, and now I just have that banner here. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, we could have just cropped it, right? And just cut that top part out there. But I did want to just showcase the remove background tool here. So now at this point, I'll go ahead and crop it. And I want to make sure I grab the correct part here. All right. Click away to accept the change. And now I can just move it and I'll put it right here. Very good. Now, if I want to stand out a little bit, I can go back to that contextual menu and I can either give it a nice drop shadow if I want to. I can give it a subtle shadow. I can put it inside of a frame. I'll just go ahead and give it a nice shadow like that. Okay. Very good. So we're able to upload a picture, remove some of the background from it, crop it, and we're good to go. So go ahead and insert a picture and remove parts of the background and go ahead and add an effect to it as well. And come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you had fun playing around with our background removal tool. Let's go ahead and insert a video. Video is also a really nice way to spruce up your Word document here. I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to go back up to my Insert tab here, and I'll head over to this Media section. And right in here, I can go ahead and drop in an online video. Now, the dialog box is a little different here. You get this plain dialog box. In former versions, you were able to actually see a YouTube search bar where you can actually search right within that dialog box for various YouTube videos as well. In 2021, you have to actually enter the specific URL of the video that you want to include here. And currently, according to Microsoft, they're currently accepting videos from Vimeo, from YouTube, and from SlideShare as well. Well, I already have my URL. I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And so here's my video right here. Now, I can go ahead and change this image if I want to, because if you notice, Microsoft Word is treating this as a picture. And so because of that, we know that there's a link here. So we can take advantage of that. If we want to go ahead and change this picture, we can go ahead and do that. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and right click on this picture. And what I can do, I can just go right here, say change a picture. And from here, I can go ahead and select it from a file, from a stock image, from an online source. I'll go ahead and choose a stock image. And I just want to express that this is a video here. So I'll go ahead and type video in my search box. And these two look really nice. I'll go ahead and grab this one here. I'll go ahead and click on insert. And so notice it's still, even though Word is treating this as a picture, it is a video file. And so I can go ahead and click and play this video file if I want to. Sometimes it will take a while depending on how your internet connection is. You can also right click on the file and you can just open it in another browser if you want to. I find that to be actually easier to do. So if I go ahead and open this in another browser, it will open my browser for me, and I can just go ahead and I do have two monitors. I can go ahead and bring that over here. And so it just opens that browser for me, and I have all of my controls right here as well. So it's a little different, not the way that we're accustomed to, but this is a really nice way to go ahead and spruce up your Word document here as well. So go ahead, grab a URL from either Vimeo, from YouTube, or SlideShare. Go ahead and insert that video. Go ahead and change the picture so it can be a little more descriptive in terms of what you're looking for. And I'm probably going to make one simple change here. We did apply a few corrections earlier. I think this time I'll head over to my picture effects here. Maybe I'll give it one of these nice effects. Let's see. This has a shadow. Okay, maybe I'll get something with a glowy edge here. Maybe a nice glowy edge. We'll do that. Or I can give it a soft edge. That's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and give it this 5-point here. All right. So go ahead, play around, and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you had fun inserting a video, changing the picture, and being able to open that in another browser. Let's go ahead and move on to lesson 2, and we'll talk about linking text boxes together. Well, I really like to use text boxes in Microsoft Word because it gives you a lot more flexibility over what you can do. They don't really kind of follow the formatting rules for each line or each paragraph. I'm going to go ahead back to my insert tab here. And over here in my text command group, I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box. And we do have several options to choose from. A text box is a really nice way to call attention to something in your document. For example, if you're writing a journal or a book, we have this sidebar here. So we have some templates here for various text boxes that you can use. And we have some other sidebars. We have this filigree quote. So we're just kind of taking a look and seeing what different options are available here. I like this one. This one is pretty nice. So if you have any headings or any kind of text that you want to kind of stand out, or maybe sections, using a text box is a really nice way to communicate that as well. So we have several options here that we can use. But what I want to do, I just want to go ahead and insert a simple text box. And it does treat it as a shape. And so we can go ahead and establish the layout options. I'll use top and bottom. This way I have more control over how the text flows. I'll just move it over here, right next to my bullet there as well. So let's go ahead and type some text in here and see how the text box responds. Of course, we can resize this. We can make it as big as we want to. We can collapse it. I'll use the rand function just to drop some random text in here. And what I want is I want 2 paragraphs and 3 sentences. So I'll go 2, 3, I'll press enter and let's see how that behaves. Now look what happened. It actually expanded my text box to all of my text. So if you did not resize it, it will do that. And because it's so big, it moved everything down one page here. Well, maybe I don't want it to grow. Maybe I just want it to maybe stay at this size here. Okay, which works, but as you can see, it's cutting off a lot of my text. And so that's not what I want. Let me move this back down to right here. And if I don't want it to keep growing, what I can do is add another text box to the right. And so whenever my text outgrows my text box here, it will spill over into my other text box. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete the data inside of here. I'll press Control A and I'll delete that. And what I'll do, now that I have my text box selected here, notice how the lines on the outside, they're solid. I'll press Control D, as in David, to duplicate that text box here. I'll move this one over here. And now what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and link these together. So now that I have this text box selected, I do get my contextual menu up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my shape format. And once I have that, over here in the text command group, I have this option here to go ahead and create a link. So I'll click on my text box, click on create a link, and it lets your text flow from one text box to another. Click an empty text box to link it to the current one. So I'll go ahead and click on this here. Now the text box needs to be empty. If you do have something in there, this will not work. So this is a perfect situation. Okay, so now these two are linked. So let's give it a test. Let's go ahead and throw our 2 paragraphs and 3 sentences in here. And let's see if it spills over into this box here. So equals rand 2, 3. I'll press enter. And it worked very well. Okay, so this is why you would want to link 2 text boxes. If you don't want them to kind of move around randomly, you don't really want them to kind of change their size, or you just don't want your text being cut off, you can have them spill over into 2 text boxes here, right? Now this one I can go ahead and expand this one a little bit here, but I want to kind of keep them together. So what I'll do is I'll press the Control key and select this one, and now I'll resize both of them together here. There we go. And when you feel happy with the way that it looks, then you're pretty much good to go. So go ahead, drop in a text box, make sure they're empty, go ahead and link them together, type in some text and watch them spill over into the other one, and come right back. Let's continue with the lesson 2. This time let's go ahead and add some word art. Now, word art is another way to bring emphasis to different parts of your document and to kind of make things stand out here as well. So just use them as necessary. So I'm still over here on my Insert tab, and I'm actually still in my text group. I'm going to go ahead and insert some word art here. And we have different types of word art to choose from. And if we just kind of mouse over each one, it gives us a brief description of what they are here. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab this one, this white, orange accent color 2, hard shadow, orange accent color 2. And I'll go ahead and it kind of opens in a small text box for us here. And so now we can just go ahead and type our text here. And what I'll do is I'll just type a simple phrase. There we go. And once again, I'll go ahead and just change my layout options here. I like having the top and bottom. And went all the way to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and move this back up here. Now, you don't have to do top and bottom. You can use another one if you want to. We know that it behaves differently as you change the options there. But now I'm getting kind of close to the end of my page here. So it's starting to act a little weird. So I have some decisions to make here. What do I want to do? Well, what I'll do right here is I'm going to go ahead and change my size here. So I'll click away. I'll go ahead and change the size of my page. And I want it to be a little bigger. So maybe I'll go to 8.5 by 14. This gives me a little more room to play with down here because I do have these objects here that I want to be able to insert. So here we go. And of course I can resize this if I want to. And this is currently a bulleted text box. I don't want it to be bulleted. I'm going to go ahead and click on my home tab here. And I'll just uncheck the bullet, just like that. There we go. If I want to fix the alignment, I could. I can make this left justified. I can keep it centered if I want to. And maybe I'll make it a little smaller. Let's see if I can get this on one line here. There we go. Very good. And I'll give this a capital W. And so even though it's in a text box, the difference is when you move away from it, the borders, they go away. And so you have the opportunity of using word art, special wording, and you can just move it around anywhere in your document. It's not going to follow the typical formatting. And this is a really great option for you to just drop word art right in there as well. So again, we get the contextual menu for the shape format. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and apply some effects here. While you were gone, I did apply a shadow effect to my two text boxes up here. So for my word art, let's see, maybe I can use one of these here that gives me a nice border around it. Or I can give it something like this. But it's really up to you. I'll just give it a simple shape effect, maybe a nice shadow. Maybe a similar shadow as to up top there. Okay. So I'll give it this one. There we go. All right. Stands out pretty good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about something else here. We have something really cool that has a tab all by itself. And that is our drawing tool. Let's go ahead and spend some time playing around with the drawing tool. So up here, I do have my draw tool. So I'll go ahead and click on there and let's see what options we have here. Notice we only have a few command groups as well. So we can do some drawing here. So we can use pens, erasers, a lasso, and a shape tool with our finger or our pen. And so we can go ahead and kind of toggle between the input mode here, right? So what I want to do, I want to take a look at these different options that we can use. So we can go ahead and select an object. We can select all ink by drawing a shape around it. So we have our eraser here that we can use. We have our pen. This is a black pen. We have our red pen. We have our pencil. We have our highlighter here as well. And so we have various options. So we can automatically convert ink drawings to shape, to math. And we have another option here for a canvas. So I really like the canvas. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, open up a canvas here. And I'll worry about the formatting a little later. It's moving things around here. That's perfectly fine. But now on this canvas, we have this nice, again, we have another object here that we can kind of control the layout of. I can resize if I want to, but right now I'll just do some practice. I'll go ahead and grab my pen here, and I'm using my mouse. I'm not using touchscreen, so I'll do my best to type here. Let's see if I can type the word pen without anyone laughing at me. So I'll say pen. Oh, not bad. This is the pen. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the red pen. Let's see what we can get here. And I'll go over here. This is the pen. Did better the first time. So I can change the thickness if I want to. If I want it to be a thicker pen, I can change the color and make note of the different colors that we have. I have patterns down here as well. this gold pattern, the silver pattern. And so for all of you graphic designers out here, I know that you're very happy right now. A lot of different options. Maybe I'll make my pen a little bigger here. Maybe I'll go to another one. Maybe I'll change the color to, I'll try one of these down here. I'll try this gold, and I'll try out my pen here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. All right, let's try out our pencil. So with the pencil, you do get the opportunity to change the thickness as well. And you do have various colors here as well. Like, think of colored pencils. This is our basic pencil. So I'll go ahead and just type pencil. Dot is always hard to type here. And let's see, I'll go ahead and change the color. Maybe I want a dark blue pencil here. Let's see. There we go. So that's a pencil. And then we also have and keep in mind there's more colors available if you want to use more colors. It keeps a track of our recent colors here, which is pretty cool. And let's check out the highlighter. So we get different colors for the highlighter as well. I'm not going to use the yellow. Maybe I'll use a green here. And let's see if I can highlight one of these items. Okay. So it's highlighting for me. Very good. Maybe I will change this to yellow. Highlight the pen here. And I'll just make a mess of things here. There we go. So that's drawing for you. If I want to erase something, just go ahead and just start. All right, I can start erasing just like that. Another thing that we can do with the drawing tools, we can actually draw shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll choose my black pen here. And what I'll do is click on where it says ink to shape. This will automatically convert ink drawings into shapes. So I'll use my space up here. Now we do have a lot of different shapes in here. So if we go to our insert tab, we click on shapes, there's a lot of different shapes that we can insert here. So I'll do my best to kind of mimic some of them here. So once again, let's say I'll go ahead and draw a circle. And I converted it to a circle for me. Let's go ahead and draw a triangle, square, rectangle. Interesting. How about an oval? Okay, picked it up for me. And let's see, maybe an arrow. Can I draw an arrow here? So pretty cool. You don't have to go to the Insert tab and drop in shapes. You can just use the Drawing tab and go ahead and draw your shapes right there. So notice now I cannot erase these. These are actual shapes. So if I try to erase them, does not apply. So now I can move these shapes around as I wish. And I can go up to my shape format and I can go ahead and give these different formats here as well. Okay. And remember, one of the great things about shapes is that you can actually type inside of them. So I'll go ahead and type here. And you just need to be able to resize them. It does not grow automatically. So I can do that. Okay. So now I can just move these things around here as well. So go ahead and have fun with the drawing tool. Click on your drawing tab. Go ahead and insert a drawing canvas. And then go ahead and use the ink to shape to go ahead and create your own shapes. And once you have your shapes in there, you can go ahead and click on the contextual menu. And you can apply some formatting there as well to give your document even more visual appeal. Have fun and come right back. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and finish up lesson 2. I did a little cleaning up while you were gone here. Kind of move my shapes around here. Let's talk about creating complex illustrations with SmartArt. SmartArt is a very, very powerful tool, and it allows you to basically create infographics. Sometimes it's just easier to communicate something with a combination of simple text and visuals as well. And psychologically, we do tend to pay more attention to infographics as well. So let's go ahead and create a small infographic. So what I want to do is I want to just kind of create a small infographic to communicate that I want to learn Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and Microsoft PowerPoint. So obviously I can type the word here. I can type a paragraph that says, I want to learn Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and Microsoft PowerPoint. Maybe I can say, in order, I want to learn Excel first, and then Word, and then PowerPoint. Or I can use bullets, but there's a better way. I can go ahead and create SmartArt. So I'm on my Insert tab, and right over here in my Illustrations command group, I'll go ahead and drop in a SmartArt. And I'll just mouse over it, give a brief synopsis of what it is. Insert a SmartArt graphic to visually communicate information. SmartArt graphics range from graphical lists and process diagrams to more complex graphics such as Venn diagrams and organization charts. Well, this is exactly what I want to do. I'll go ahead and click on SmartArt here. And it opens up this really big list of options for you. And so let's talk about this option here. If you've never used SmartArt before, this is something that's used a lot in PowerPoint. Very, very nice tool. So it's asking us to choose a SmartArt graphic. So we have the list of all the graphics here that we can see. So if I were to scroll down, these are all of the different options. Over here on the right, it gives you a nice preview of what it would look like, actually. Okay. And notice we have different types. So you will know what type of information you're trying to communicate, whether it's a list, a process, a cycle, a hierarchy. In this case, it will be an organization chart. Really nice options there if you're interested in creating one. We have relationships, a matrix, pyramid, and you can even have ones with pictures in it. And you can find more at office.com as well. So what I want to do is I want to look for a pyramid, but let's just scroll down first and take a look at all the different options that we have here. So we have vertical arrow list. We have a continuous block process. So they're all here. But if you know what you're looking for, maybe you want a list. You're looking for different type of lists here. This is what it would look like on the right. If you want something communicated as a process, you have a step-up process here. Maybe you can show different steps to complete a process. And we have a step-down process as well. We have cycles that you can use, hierarchy. These are often used for organization charts. Relationships, showing relationships between two different things or objects, or maybe a process as well. I want to go ahead and use a pyramid, and I want to use this one. I'll use a pyramid list, and I'll go ahead and click OK, because I want this to represent the hierarchy of what I want to learn here. So it opens up our box here. So we have the option here. We can either type our text right in here if we want to, or we can go ahead and type our text in here. I like to use the box here on the left, so I'll go ahead and use that. So I want Excel to be at the top, so I'll type the word Excel. And then on my next line, I want Word. And on my next line, I want to use PowerPoint. If I want to add another shape, I can do that. I simply have to go ahead and just enter another line. So if I wanted to put Outlook here, my list could grow, which is pretty cool. But I don't want Outlook. I'll kind of take that out right now. If I wanted to have something under Excel, kind of like a bulleted list, I can press enter. I can tab over. That will give me room to write something here. Okay, so maybe I can write learn first. and so forth and so on. But I'll leave that. That's pretty good right now. I'll just go ahead and press delete so I can remove that as well. So this is a really nice way, this box here on the left is a really nice way to just kind of add shapes and manipulate your SmartArt here. But let's take a look at what's happening. We get a really nice contextual menu up here at the top. We have two indeed. We have one for SmartArt design and we have one for format. Let's take a look at what we can do on the design tab. So over here, we can go ahead and we have the create graphic command group. So we can add shapes if we want to, right? So we can add another shape, but we can also do the same thing just by typing on another line here, but we can move things around. Okay. We can add a bullet if we want to. Notice right now, I can click on all three of them. So these are, even though they're grouped together, I can modify these individually. So if I wanted to switch these around, I can move them up or move them down or so forth and so on. There's different layouts. I can change the layout of my SmartArt. Maybe I want something else. If I just mouse over, it gives me a nice little preview of what it would look like. Okay. So maybe I can use that one there. I'll leave it the way it is. I do want to change the colors though. So maybe I'll go ahead. So you get different options for the color here. You get the primary theme colors. And if you just mouse over, you get a nice preview what it would look like. You get all the colors that are available with the current theme that you're selected. And so you have different colorful palettes here that you can use. And then you have the various accents. So remember, our themes comes with some accents here that you can use. I'll go ahead and choose this colorful palette here. Okay. And we can also go ahead and increase the effect. We can make it more intense. So notice as I go to the right, it's becoming more glossy, or the orientation is changing as well. So lots of different options. I'll go ahead and give it this nice glossy look here. Maybe this one. Very good. But now I want to go ahead and I want Excel to be green. I want Word to be blue, and I want PowerPoint to have that wonderful orange PowerPoint there. So I can click on the Excel individually. This time I'll go to the format. I'll go to the format tab here and I'll look for that Excel green. There we go. Okay, grab that one. Word will be blue. Grab that one. And PowerPoint is going to be this orange here. Let's see if I can give this another type of, maybe I'll give it that orange. Doesn't stand out like that. Very good. So that is SmartArt. That is how you include SmartArt. And once again, you can either go back up to SmartArt design and move things around by using the create graphic command group, or you can just use the box here on the left to go ahead and add something. I'll go ahead and add Outlook to this. And I'll go ahead and give Outlook its own color. Outlook is also that nice shade of blue. So I'll drop in that blue as well. Very good. So that's how SmartArt works. Now you can resize it. You can move it around. You also get the layout options here. It's fitting perfectly right here. So I'll leave it just the way that it is. Go ahead and insert some SmartArt. Play around with it. Change the colors. Change the type of style. Have fun and come right back. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and move on to lesson 3. We'll talk about collaborating on documents. And what I'll do at this point, I'll go ahead and collapse all of my headers here. I'll just right click here and go ahead and collapse everything. And I'll just go to lesson 3. And this is why I like using headers. I can just kind of get things out of the way as I'm working on them. And now I'll focus on lesson 3 here. So let's talk about preparing a document for collaboration. Now, collaboration is very, very big, and collaborating works just like any other cloud-based Office tool. The only difference is that you have the opportunity to collaborate with your desktop client here of Microsoft Word 2021. So getting started with collaborating is very, very simple. The first thing you need to do, you need to go ahead and make sure, of course, that you're logged in with your Microsoft account. Once you're logged in, you can go ahead and click on the share button. There's another way that you can share your documents as well, but easiest way, go ahead and click on share. I've already shared my document here. You'll get this dialog box. If you have not uploaded your working file here to the cloud, it will first let you know, hey, if you want to be able to share this file, we need to be able to save this on your OneDrive for you. After we've uploaded it to OneDrive for you, then you'll be able to share this file, and you just need to go ahead and accept that. And it's really good because when you click on the share button, it will upload it for you and allow you to be able to share the file. So sharing is pretty simple. The most common way to share a file, obviously, is to go ahead and click on the link here, and then you can just go ahead and share the link with someone. And they'll be able to open up that file in a web browser. And once they start working on it, they can add that to their OneDrive. They can download that file and they can work on it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on share again. And once you have the people that you want to share the file with, you can either send the link or you can type in the email addresses of persons here as well. I like to use the link icon preferably. Sometimes a person does not receive the message, or maybe it goes somewhere, it kind of gets hidden, in their mailbox as well. We have more options here, so we can manage the access. So if you did share it with a few people, right, we can go ahead and manage the type of access that those persons can have here as well. So I'll go back here. So just notice a few things here. I did share this with another person. That person is currently working in the file. And so I can see them working because their initials are right here. And if I were to click on this, it tells me who's working on this file and where they're located. They're currently on page 1. So if I click here, I can send the person an email. I can open their contact card if I want to, or I can go to the exact location where the person is collaborating on the file. So it's right here. We do see the small markup. It's a vertical line. Looks like a little flag. And it's showing this is my personal account that I'm using to access this file here as well. And that's really how you start the collaboration process. You're able to share that file, and now you can go ahead and see who's working on it as well. So you can go ahead and you can send an email. You can go ahead and you can drop in comments as well. So if you wanted to add a comment here, let's say I want to add a comment regarding lesson 3, I can add a comment. Just open up a new comment like so, and I can send this out to everyone. So please add content here. And I'll go ahead and just do that. Now, the cool thing about comments is now, if anyone else is working on this file, they can reply to that comment. And so now we have this internal chat that's taking place right here inside of our Word document. Very good. So some really nice collaboration tools that we can use to get work done. So go ahead and click on the share button. Make sure that you upload that file. And once it's uploaded, go ahead and share it with someone. Maybe share it with your colleague, or family member, or friend. Ask them to go ahead and open that document. You can see what they're doing right here. So go ahead and take care of that and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you were able to share that document. Now, let's spend some time talking about our review tab here. Because now that we have shared our document, we have activated some of the features here that we can use under our review tab. So I'll go ahead and click on my review tab here. And just notice here, my comments pane is still turned on. I did get a reply from my message to please add content here. Mo Jones said will do. And if I wanted to, I can go ahead and further reply there again. But let's go ahead and let's talk about just marking up a document here. And under our review tab, we're going to spend some time right over here in our tracking section, and then we'll talk about some of the changes as well, our changes command group. So we were able to share our file. And so now we have some options here. We can go ahead and start tracking changes. So what is it? What is that all about? If I just mouse over it here, keep track of changes made to this document. This is especially useful if a document is almost done and you're working with others to make revisions or give feedback. So if you're collaborating with a few people, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, depending on how big your team is, as the document owner, maybe you're given the responsibility of kind of keeping track of all the changes that are taking place here. And maybe you also have the responsibility of accepting or rejecting each kind of change that is being made to this document. So if I click on my drop down here for track changes, I can track changes for everyone. I can track changes just for me. And I can go ahead and lock this tracking here. Okay. This is useful if I want to keep a record or track all the changes that are being made to this document. I don't want someone to be able to turn this feature off or on. So I can kind of lock it so that they need a password so that only I can turn this feature off or on here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on track changes. But before I do, let's take a look and see, well, what are we tracking here? Okay. So if I move over to my markup tab here, I can choose how I'd like to see the changes that are being made in the document here. So I can just see simple markups, I can see all markups, or I can see no markups, or I can go to original here. Okay. Let's take our time and go through this here. Let's take a look at show markup. So here we can choose what type of markup to show in our document. For example, we can hide comments or formatting changes. So let's go ahead and click on this drop down here. So right now, if someone inserts or deletes something, I will be notified that they inserted something or they deleted something. If someone makes a formatting update to any place in this document, I will be notified that a formatting change was made as well. Okay. Then I have some balloons here where I can show only formatting. I can show all revisions. So once we turn on the track changes here, we're going to notice a lot of things happening in our document. We'll start seeing a lot of call outs, a lot of lines, and a lot of tracking, which is really what's happening here. So I'll turn on my track changes here. And I want to see all the changes that are being made. And we also have a reviewing pane. So if I want to go ahead and turn this on, it shows all the changes that are happening, right, in real time. So I'll go ahead and show this vertically here. And so here is my reviewing pane. All right. So let's see if I go ahead, maybe I'll go ahead and press enter there. So I just inserted a line and it says Learn it, train it, inserted a line or a bullet. All right. And what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and document this here. Maybe I'll indent this a little bit more here. And these all live under our review tab. So we'll keep the changes turned on and we'll see how it tracks the changes as we continue to apply them as well. So we get a little tooltip here to change the display to show all the revisions to our document in line. That's fine. I'll go ahead and use that. That's fine. Okay. So from now on, everything is going to be tracked here as well. So go ahead and turn on, make sure that you first share your file. Go ahead and click on the review tab and make sure you turn on track changes. After you do that, choose what you want to see. Maybe you just want to see the simple markup, all markups, no markups, or original. And then go ahead and specify exactly what you want to be tracked here. So go ahead, make a few formatting changes. I just made a few simple ones. I inserted a line here and indented over, and it's tracking all of my changes. So go ahead and do that and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you were able to turn on your tracking there. Now let's go ahead and see what's going on here. I did turn off my navigation pane because I was running out of room here, because I have my revisions tab here. I have my comments over here on the right. So I turned off my navigation view. So I'll go back to my review tab here. And now what we want to do, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the changes that have been taking place here. So over here under my changes command group, I want to be able to go ahead and either accept or reject changes as I see them. But what I want to do is I want to be able to cycle through all of those changes. So how can I see the changes step by step so I can make a decision on whether or not I want to accept that change or reject that change? Now, if I take a look over here on my left, it's keeping a track of all of my changes here. So it started with a comment from when I turned it on here. And then we see some formatting taking place here. And then we see that line that I entered for the review tab. And then Mo Jones added a line. He said, go ahead and please add a picture. So let's go ahead and just kind of emulate some basic collaboration tasks here. So what I'll do, I can go ahead and reply right here, but I want it to be specific to this picture request here. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a new comment, and I'll just say, what picture are you referring to? Go ahead and send that out. Okay, so it's 2 minutes later, and notice that this entry was made here as well. So the comment is being tracked as well. So I realized that the picture refers to the picture that's up here. So I'll go ahead and paste that in. I use my snipping tool to take a picture of this section here. And I drop that in so it's easier for everyone to understand here as well. Okay, very good. Now, if you notice over here on the left, it actually shows the picture, shows a picture that was inserted. So remember, anything that's being inserted, deleted, or formatted, or comments, we are tracking all of these. Right? They're all being shown here. So now I need a way to be able to kind of cycle through this. This is pretty small right now, but imagine a 20-page document that has markups for every line and every page. It can be very, very overwhelming and very, very time consuming. And so what you want to do is you want to be able to kind of manage all of these changes. And the way that we kind of keep track of all these changes right here on my review tab, I have my changes command group. And so what I want to do first is kind of be able to cycle through them, all the changes that are being made. And I want to be careful because if I select the wrong one, I will reject or accept something incorrectly. And so what I want to do is just make sure I cycle through them. So I'll try to place my mouse cursor towards the end here. And I'll go to my next one here. Okay. So my next one is this entry here for the review tab. And I'll just kind of go through them. So this is a request to please add a picture. Here's the actual picture. Okay. And so I'm just kind of cycling through them here so I can be familiar. Now I can make a decision on some of these. Let me try to go back to the beginning here. So maybe I'll accept this for the review tab. That's fine. I took care of this picture, so now I can go ahead and reject that. So I can remove that. Very good. Right? So I accepted a few changes. I rejected one, and everything looks good. And I'm pretty good to go here. Now keep in mind, we do have other options when you're accepting or rejecting changes. I can choose to accept and move to the next, right? Or I can accept all changes. I can say, you know what? I did a visual run through. Everything looks good. I want to accept everything. And let's go ahead and move on. But still keep on tracking. I can say, let's accept all the changes and stop tracking. So we'll turn the tracking off. We're pretty much reaching the finish line here. In similar fashion, I can reject the current one and move to the next one. I can reject all changes on the sheet. or I can go ahead and reject all changes and stop tracking as well. So my suggestion is just kind of go through them one by one by using previous and next here, and make sure that you make a decision on each change so that I'll be able to manage this document. Because once again, this document can get very, very long, and you'll have a lot of markups on here, various lines and indentations and icons. And so you just want to kind of make sure that you are either accepting or rejecting the correct one as well. So go ahead and make sure that your tracking is turned on. Go ahead and make some changes, insert a few things, insert a few lines, type some words, and then make sure you spend some time just going through the previous and next under the changes command group. Familiarize yourself with how the changes look, and then come right back. Tracking changes can be fun if you take your time and make sure that you are checking on a regular basis. There's one more thing to talk about here under our review tab, and this is the compare feature. This tool is a very, very powerful tool. And basically what this allows you to do is to compare two different revisions of a document. And then you'll have the option to go ahead and make adjustments or approve as necessary. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's under there. So if I just mouse over, we can compare two documents to see the differences between them. You can also combine revisions from different people into a single document. So this will kind of automate the process for you. There are a few things that you need to do along the way though as well. So I'll go ahead and click on my drop down here. So I can either compare two versions of a document, or I can combine. I'll go ahead and click on the compare. Let's take a look at the dialog box that we have here. So it basically asks you, what is the original document? So I can click on the drop down here, and I can show some files here, or I can open up my folder to open up that particular file. So I have the original document and I have the revised document that I can use as well. And I do have more options down here. We can accept the defaults, or if you want to be very specific with what you want to look for, you can click on the more option. And notice now you can look, what do you want to compare? Here are your comparison settings. If you want to compare moves, maybe you just want to compare moves, tables, and text boxes. Maybe you just want to check for those. That's perfectly fine. Or you can go ahead and select everything here as well. And the tool will run, and then you'll just have the option to be able to make some decisions based on the comparison as well. And so that's what the compared documents look like. We can also go ahead and combine if we want to. So let's look at the dialog box for combining revisions from multiple authors into a single document. This one is more advanced, but again, we have the same options here. Choose the original document. Right? Go ahead and choose the revised document. And then go ahead and specify, well, what are the changes? Or what are the things that you want to go ahead and compare here? Again, you can select as much as you want, or you can just select a few here as well. You can show the changes as well at a character level or a word level. So really depending on how deep you want to be able to dive in as well. You can show the changes in a new document, the original document, or the revised document. So all the options are here for you to be able to either compare documents or to go ahead and combine documents. So if you are collaborating with a few people on a document, you do want to go ahead and make sure if for some reason the documents are different, you can go ahead and compare them and make some decisions in terms of what you want to keep. So go ahead, if you have the opportunity to do so, go ahead and run the tool, maybe with a colleague as soon as you can. Maybe not now, maybe a little later, but get some practice using that tool. It's very, very useful, very powerful tool when it comes to collaborating. It will save you a lot of time, and a lot of effort as well. Welcome back. Well, let's go ahead and move on to lesson number 4. Before we do that, I want to do a few things here. I want to go ahead and turn off my markups. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn off my changes here. So I'm no longer tracking changes. And I'm going to go ahead. I don't want to see any markups, so I'll turn those off. And I'll go ahead and turn off my revisions pane here as well. Notice I can go ahead and refresh the reviewing pane. I'll go ahead and turn that off. Okay, looks nice. Now I have more space to work with. So let's go ahead, go down to lesson number 4, and we'll talk about adding captions. And what we'll do, we're going to spend a lot of time on our references tab here. So I'll go ahead and click on my references tab here. And this is where a lot of tools live. When you're working on a scholarly document, there's a lot of options in here just to make sure that you are compliant. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at captions here. I'm going to add some captions. Specifically, we'll insert a caption. Now, what is a caption? So captioning is the process of labeling different objects or pictures that are in your document. And the cool thing is that once you've added a caption, what we can do is we can go ahead and insert a table of figures towards the end of our page, and we can always get more information in terms of what that figure or that table is about. So if you take a look at lesson 3 here, I did insert a few pictures here that I took just to provide more information on how to accomplish these tasks as well. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and provide a nice little table at the end of my document that refers to these different pictures here and just provide a little more information about them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my first one here, and I'll click on Insert Caption. And I get this dialog box here, and it's saying the caption is figure 1. The label is a figure. I can go ahead and change the label if I want to, if it's a table or a figure or an equation. In this case, it's a figure. And where do I want the caption to be? It can be above the selected item or below. I'll put it below, and we'll go ahead and see what it looks like here. I'll click OK. All right. So now if someone is going through this document and they see I have a figure here, well, they can see that, oh, this is figure 1. Okay. So it's kind of like when you're reading a book or textbook, the tables are labeled with different table numbers, and you have different figures that you can refer to. So this is all we're doing here. So I'll go ahead and add another one here for this. This is figure 2. I'll just accept it, click OK. And I'll do the same here for figure 3. And I'll do the same here for figure 4. Very good. So now I have four labeled figures. And so now I can go ahead, when I'm ready, insert my table of figures so that I can always kind of navigate right back to those figures. Now that we have our captions created, notice when we click on each figure now, we have a small anchor next to it. And that tells us that the selected object is anchored to the document text. So each one has an anchor. So we know that we're ready to go ahead and create our table of figures as well. And so this is just a great way, if you want to refer someone to the document, take a look at figure number 3, and they can go to figure number 3 by either using the table of figures or by going to that particular page, and they'll have a really good reference point. So go ahead and add some objects. You can add a shape, you can add a picture, you can add a table. Go ahead and add captions to them. Make sure you do that. Make sure that you do them in order from top to bottom. And go ahead and come right back. Welcome back. Hopefully you were able to caption a few objects there. So let's go ahead and prepare the last page of our document here. Because what we want to do, let's just kind of think ahead here. We know that we want to create a bibliography. We know that we want to insert some endnotes, and we want to be able to insert a table of figures as well. So I'll go to the end of my document here. And what I'll do is I'm just going to go and I want to insert a blank page. And so I'll go ahead and give this page a title here. I'll just put references. Very good. So no matter what, this will be our last page. even if our document kind of grows as well. Because when we create our big bibliography, endnotes, and our table of figures, we want them to appear here. So we have that taken care of. Now let's go back up. Go back up to lesson 4 here. Let's talk about adding bookmarks and adding some hyperlinks. And bookmarks are not really used that much in Word, but just to get some practice, we'll go ahead and we'll just bookmark some of the headers here. And so what we want to do to go ahead and use bookmarks, we want to go over to our Insert tab, which we're currently on. And let's go ahead and I'm going to go back up to my very first lesson here. And I'm going to go ahead and just triple click on that. So I'll triple click just to kind of select the entire thing here. And up on my Insert tab, I do have the option up here in Links. I'm going to go ahead and insert a bookmark. Now notice we have link, bookmark, and cross-reference all in this section. They all kind of behave the same way. They're anchored to an object or a part of your document that you can refer to. So it's really up to you. You can either create a link back to each header here, or we can use a table of contents, or we can use a bookmark, or we can use a cross-reference. But just in case you like to use bookmarks, I'll go ahead and do that here. So to insert a bookmark, just select the content you want to jump to, insert the bookmark, and then add a hyperlink that points to your bookmark. So this allows you to kind of jump to different places in your document here. So I'll add a bookmark here for manipulating images. And I'll just call this lesson 1. Now, you cannot put spaces. So if you want to put a space, you can use the underscore. It will not accept spaces here. And I'll go ahead and just click add. All right. Now I'll go ahead and do the same here for lesson 2. I'll bookmark that one as well. I'll just call this lesson 2. I'll click add. And you can do this for anything. It does not just have to be the headers. So if I wanted to do, let's say I want to talk about merging changes from other documents, I can bookmark that as well. And I can call this merging, just to keep it simple. I'll click add. Okay, so now I have my 3 bookmarks. So now how do I get to them? Well, there's a few ways that we can do it. The easiest way really is just to go ahead and use a shortcut. So I can go ahead and press Control plus G. And that will allow me to navigate through my bookmarks here. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I'll press Control G. So I'll go ahead and just click on my bookmarks here. And now I can go ahead and kind of cycle through the different bookmarks here. So if I want to go back to lesson 1, I can go to lesson 1. If I want to go to lesson 2, I can go to lesson 2. If I want to go to merging, I can go to merging as well. So just press Control G, and that will allow you to kind of navigate through your bookmarks here. And that's how you can see your bookmarks. Now, another thing that we can talk about is hyperlinks. Okay, so hyperlinks are very, very cool. Really nice way to just kind of add an outside source. Now, keep in mind, you can hyperlink inside the document if you wanted to. So if I wanted to create a hyperlink to another page in my document, I can do that. But in this example, we're going to go ahead and create a hyperlink to an external web page here. So you can insert a link a few ways. You can either convert text to a link. So I can turn this into a hyperlink. I'm going to go back over to my links command group here. And this time I'll click on add a hyperlink. And once that's ready, here's my dialog box. So I can look for an existing file, a web page, a place in this document, even an email address. So as you can see, I can jump to different headings here if I want to. I'll just go to a web page and I'll just go ahead and type learnit.com. I'll click OK. If I did that correctly, this should now be clickable. So if I press Control and click on it, that will bring me right to learnit.com's web page. So go ahead and add some bookmarks. Go ahead and add a hyperlink. Make sure that you press Control G so that you can navigate through those different bookmarks that you created and come right back. Excellent. So we've added captions here in lesson 4. We've added bookmarks and hyperlinks. Now let's go ahead and insert some footnotes and some endnotes as well. Now a footnote, just keep in mind, a footnote provides additional information about either an object or a word, a phrase, a sentence, a paragraph. And when you insert that footnote, it goes to the end of the current page. An endnote does the same thing. It provides more information about a particular object or an element, but that will go to the very, very end of the page. And so if we want to go ahead and insert a footnote, we want to go back to our References tab here. And this will allow us to go ahead and insert either a footnote or an endnote. And so right over here in our footnotes, actually our footnotes command group, we can insert a footnote or we can insert an endnote. So what I want to do is I want to provide some information here. For example, a footnote. I want to make it clear that a footnote goes to the end of the page. So I'll click right here at the end of this line and I'll go ahead and insert a footnote. Notice it goes to the bottom of that current page and it gives it a number. This is the first footnote on that page. And I'll just say footnotes. Footnotes go to the end of the page. All right. And so if you're reading this document, you know this has a footnote. And if you just mouse over it, it tells you exactly what the footnote is. And it can bring you to that footnote as well. Let's go ahead and add an endnote. So this time we'll add an endnote. And the endnote is going to go all the way to the end of the document. So this is the last page of our document here. And it goes to that very last line. And so we'll just say endnote goes to the end of the document. Very good. So here's our footnote on that corresponding page. And here's our endnote at the end of the document. Insert some footnotes, insert some endnotes, and come right back. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and finish up lesson 4 by talking about adding citations and a bibliography. We did create that last page for the purpose of our bibliography and for our table of references as well. So let's go ahead and make use of this, but let's go ahead and insert our table of figures first. So remember, we did mark up those figures earlier. And so over here under my captions group, I'm going to go ahead and insert the table of figures. And I want to insert it right here. I want that first. So I'll go ahead and click on insert. And it just asked me for some basic information here. I cannot click on the other tabs. And it just asked me for some options. I can show the page numbers if I want to. I can right align the page numbers. I can go ahead and change the connector here, the tab leader. I can make it a solid line, broken line. And over here on the right, I can choose to use these hyperlinks instead of the page numbers. So if I unselect that, it will show me the page number for each figure that I labeled here when I added my captions earlier. I want to use a hyperlink so I can be able to just click and go right to that figure here. And there are some other options. So there are different formats. We'll give you different options. If you want to use the classic format, it changes here. So you do have other options available for you. I'll go ahead and stick to the basic one. I'll go ahead and stick to the basic figure here. I'll just keep the defaults and I'll go ahead and click OK. And so right here, it shows my table of figures. And if I control and click on one of these, it's going to bring me to that particular figure. Very good. Okay, so our table is finished there. And now we need to go ahead and add our bibliography. So let's talk about adding citations in the bibliography. So up here on our References tab, we do have the Citations and Bibliography command group. Well, what is a citation and what is a bibliography? Well, I'm going to just add another line here, and I'll just make a reference to a book here. Okay. So I'll say Word Advanced. Okay. So maybe I want to go ahead and reference a book, right? Or maybe I want to just make this more specific here as, okay. So I'm speaking about something as described in Word Advanced. Well, what is Word Advanced? Well, Word Advanced is a book. So if I retrieve some information from a book, I want to make sure that I give credit to that author or I cite that source accurately. So I have an option right here. I can provide my citation right here, which will provide the reader with more information with a link to that source. So I'll mouse over to the citation here. Credit a source information by citing the book, article, or other material it comes from. You can choose from a list of saved sources or add a new one. Word will format citations according to your selected style. So very good. So if you're writing a scholarly document, or maybe you're writing a journal and you are citing your sources, which you should, Word makes it very, very simple for you to do so. Now, when it talks about style, you have to decide on which style you're using. By default, APA is selected. And the thing is, when you are writing your document or creating your document here, you will know how you are supposed to cite your sources. For example, if you're a student, your professor will let you know, use the APA style or use the MLA style, which is very, very popular, or use the Chicago style. And so it will be made known to you. So now it's just a matter of coming into Microsoft Word, choosing MLA if that's what is expected of you. And now you can go ahead and insert your citation. So I'll go ahead and insert citation here. What I like to do, I like to come into Manage Sources, and I'll show you what that dialog box looks like. So Manage Sources allows me to go ahead and add all of my citations. So I can add a new one here. And when I'm ready, I can just reference them as needed here as well. But we'll take a look at this. Let's go ahead and add a citation right here at the end of this comment here. So I'll go ahead and add a new source. And we get this dialog box here. And so we just need to go ahead and choose the type of source. Let's say this is a book. So I'll go up to the top. I'll say this is a book. And we have some guides here on the bottom. Okay. So we have a few things that we need to fill out. These are all mandatory, and that's why they're all showing up. So we have to enter all of these here. On the bottom, if you need some more guidance, it gives you an example of what each field is asking for. So here is the author. I'll go ahead and just type in my name. And the title, I'll just put a Word Advanced 2021. The year is 2021. The city, I'll put Atlanta. Publisher is Learnit. And the medium, I'll just put it as a document. So I'll go ahead and click OK. But let's take a look at all of the bibliography fields. So if I click here, so notice I have a lot more fields here that I can enter. So again, it really depends on what is being asked of you. If you're doing this if you're writing a journal for a company, they may ask you to cite your sources by including the edition, the pages. So you just want to be mindful that there are other options here. You can add a tag name down here as well if you want to. This will kind of just give you the option there. So I'll go ahead and click OK. Sorry, I changed the tag here. Put that back. There we go. And so here it gives you just a brief synopsis, right? So this is M. Jones. If I click on this and I click on the drop down, I can go ahead and edit the citation. I can edit the source as well. Very good. So now what I'll do, I'm going to go back up to manage sources. And this time I'll go ahead and just add, maybe this time I'll go ahead and add maybe a journal article. And notice how the fields change when you change the type of source. So let's see, maybe I'll just say John Doe. Okay. And Office 365. And the journal name, okay, so this could be maybe the name of the journal that comes out on a monthly basis. Right now it's giving me Adventure Works Monthly. Maybe I'll call it Learnit Weekly. And the year is 2021. And this journal has 42 pages. And the medium is a document. So I can go ahead and click OK. And so now it's just there. So now if I want to go ahead and click close, I can go ahead and take a look at it. But let's preview what each one looks like. So here's the Mo Jones one. And this is how it's going to enter the bibliography. Like this. So the name of the author, the title of the book, the city, the company, the year, and the type of medium. Here's the other one that I created. So it gives you a nice preview of what it would look like here. And if something is wrong, you know that you can just go in and change it as well. So I'll go ahead and click close. And now if I want to drop one right here, it's just a matter of clicking on the drop down for insert citation. And I can drop in any one of these. Maybe I'll go ahead and drop in John Doe here as well. Okay. And so now I'm ready for my bibliography. Right. So I can insert a bibliography right here. List all your sources in a bibliography or works cited section. And we have some kind of built-in options here that we can use. We have some references, works cited. So it's really up to us. I'm going to go down here after my table of figures here, and I'll click on bibliography, and I'll just choose the standard here, bibliography. And right there, it's showing the MLA style for my bibliography as well. So I created my citations, I cited my sources properly, and I was able to go ahead and create my bibliography. Well, at least Microsoft Word did it for me. So now I have my table of figures, my bibliography, I have my endnotes, and it's looking pretty good. All right, so go ahead and add a few. I would recommend just click on Manage Sources. Go ahead and add a few sources and citations there. Once you're ready, go to your last page and insert that bibliography and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you've been learning a lot as we've covered 4 lessons so far. We have 3 lessons left here. And right now, let's go ahead and focus on lesson 5. And we'll spend some time just talking about how we can secure our document. Specifically, we'll click on our File tab. We'll go to the Info section, and we'll take a look at the Protect Document tool. And we'll also go ahead and use the Inspect Document tool as well. So I'll go ahead and click on my File tab. And once I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and click on my Info tab, which is right here. And so we have a few options here that we can use. We can protect the document. We can inspect the document. And if we take a look over here, we have some other document properties that we can take a look at, and also some other properties down here. So let's click on the drop down and see what we can do. Well, the most powerful thing that we can do to protect our document is to encrypt it with a password. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on this command here. And notice there's a caution. If you lose or forget the password, it cannot be recovered. So you want to be mindful, make sure that you can recover that password by using a password keeper tool or any other viable method as well. Now, if you're sending confidential documents over the wire that you may not feel is secure, you might want to go ahead and protect it with a password. That's your strongest option. Another thing that we can do is we can go ahead, we can restrict editing. So we can control the types of changes others can make. So if I click on this dialog box here, so over on the right, I can restrict editing. I can limit formatting to a selection of styles, right? So I can say you can only use these type of styles here. I have some editing restrictions as well. So I can allow only this type of editing in the document. Okay? And then I can go ahead and start enforcement. So I can go ahead and apply these settings once I feel okay with it. So if I go ahead and click here, let's take a look at some of the options that I have. So I can allow track changes, comments, filling in forms, or no changes, which is read only. I'll go ahead and uncheck that. And then obviously here I can go ahead and specify the types, specific types of rights for different groups or people. Now, if you're connected with your corporation, you should see a lot more information here. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that. I'm not going to apply that right now. And then under limiting the formatting to a selection of styles, if I click on settings, I get this dialog box here. And if I want to, I can go ahead and specify what type of editing or styles I want everyone to be able to use. More advanced options here on the bottom for different types of formatting. I can allow auto format to override the formatting restrictions. I can block theme or scheme switching, or I can block this quick style set switching. So if you're really concerned about the integrity and the layout of your document, then you might want to go ahead and restrict the editing options here, because then this will prevent various formatting from being applied to the document. And this is especially useful if you have branded your document. Maybe it's branded to your company and you don't want someone to be able to make changes to it. So this is a viable option. I'm going to go ahead and close this here. I'll go back to my file tab here and go back to my info. And so we talked about encrypting with a password. We talked about restricting editing. We can go ahead and mark this as final. So if we've been collaborating with people on this document, we can just go ahead and kind of accept all the changes there and let everyone know, hey, this document is final. It's all the changes have been either accepted or rejected, and we're good to go. We can add a digital signature to this if I want to. And we get this prompt to get a digital ID. To sign a Microsoft Office document, you need a digital ID. Would you like to get one from a Microsoft partner now? So that option is there for you to use it. I'm not going to apply that now. Another thing that we can do, we can go ahead and inspect the document. And this is going to run a thorough test, and it's going to check for a lot of different things here. But more specifically, it's going to check for any personal information that you may have left in this document. And if we notice over here on the right, notice that the author information is viewable. And there's a lot of fields in here. If I were to open up the properties here, there are a lot of fields here that I can interact with. And so I want to make sure, if I'm concerned about my personal information, I can make sure that I can suppress some of this information here. So I'm going to go ahead and check for issues here. I'll check the inspect document. And to check the document for the selected content, I can go ahead and click inspect. So I can check for comments, document properties, and personal information. I'll go ahead and leave these default, and I'll go ahead and inspect this, and let's see what it finds. So this is telling me that, hey, I have comments in here. You know, these may be comments that are personal to my colleagues and I, my collaborators and I. And there's also personal information in here, such as the name of the author, and some pictures are in here as well. So I can remove these if I want to. I'm not going to remove them now, just for the purposes of this demo. Well, actually, I will remove the comments. So I'll move my comments here, and I'll leave this. If I want to, I can go ahead and reinspect as well. I'm also getting some other messages down here. I have some collapse headings, but that's fine. That's by default. And I have some custom XML data. I'll go ahead and close this here. So if you've never looked at these properties before, they are there for you and they will help you to secure your document. So go ahead and run the Inspect Document tool. Go ahead and take a look at the options under the Protect Document tool as well, and come right back. Welcome back. Let's talk about Lesson 6, using forms to manage content. Now, I know that there's different types of forms out there. Microsoft actually has a Forms app that will allow you to create a form, but maybe it's necessary for you to go ahead and create a form right inside of Microsoft Word 2021. So we can go ahead and do that, and we'll go through the process here. And but there's a few things we need to do. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and turn on our developer mode. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to right click on any one of my ribbon tabs. So I'll just right click, and now I can go ahead and click on where it says customize the ribbon. So I get this dialog box here, and notice over on my right, these are the options that are on my ribbon. Well, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and turn on this developer tab here. So I'll simply just go ahead and tick that box, and I'll go ahead and click OK. Okay, very good. Now I'm good to go. I can go ahead and click on my developer tab here. So here's my developer tab. And I'm going to go ahead and make use of these controls here that we can insert and build our form. But first, if you don't want to build your form from scratch, you can go ahead and take a look at some templates. So I can press Control N if I want to, or I can just go to the File menu here, and I'll go to New, and I'll go ahead and search for some templates here. So I'll look for a form. I'll go ahead and press Enter. And we'll just look around and see if we see any forms here. Here are a few forms that were made by Microsoft. And let's see if we can find maybe this one here, the Small Business Client Intake. If I just click on that, it gives me a nice description of what it is. It gives me a preview of what it looks like. This accessible template is adaptable for a wide variety of business settings. Replace the logo. So I'm going to go ahead and create this. We'll just kind of take a look at how some of the forms look like here. We can tell this is in a table. So basically someone created this in the form of a table. And we know it's a table because if we take a look up here, we see we get the contextual menu for the table design and the table layout. That's perfectly fine. So this basically has some tabs in here, right? Some kind of hidden cells or so. Let me see if I can take a look and view the grid lines. Okay, so here is our grid lines. So it's a really clever way of making a form, right? Because you cannot go beyond each box here. So you can just type your name in here, things of that nature. And on the bottom, we have some other options here. So that is an option for you. Maybe there's a form out there that you like. Feel free to go ahead and use one. But we're going to go ahead and create our own form here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and build the form fields. So in this example, we'll create a registration form. So I'll just go ahead and type registration form here. And think about what my fields are. Well, I want last name. And I'll press tab. We'll go down and I'll put first name. Press tab. I'm just pressing tab because I want all of my form controls to kind of line up over here on the right. And then I'll go ahead and I'll use a checkbox right here if the person is registered or not. Date. And maybe jacket size. Okay. If you're a member, you get a jacket. We need to know what your size is. And press tab and go over. Okay, so it's pretty set up here. So now what I want to do, I want to go ahead and add some interactive boxes or some interactive controls for over here. And so now I can go back up to my developer tab now that I have that enabled, right? And I want to drop in some of these controls over here, all right? And I'll start by clicking after my last name. Now we have two types of text control boxes. You have this rich text control where they can have different formatting. The person that's filling out the form, they have advanced formatting options. If you want to keep it basic, then you can just have a plain text content control. I'll use the rich text format here. Okay. Very good. And I'll come back to that a little later. I'll go down to a first name. I'll drop in another one here. And for registered, I want a simple yes or no checkbox. So I'll put yes, I'll press tab, and then I'll put no. And so right up to my yes here, I'm going to insert this checkbox. Okay, just like that. And right after my no, I'll insert a checkbox. Very good. So now after date, I'm going to tab over so I can have everything lined up here. And if I look for the date, it's right here. I have my date picker content control. And so now the person has to tap it to enter a date. And then finally, the jacket size, I want a drop down. So I have two options here. I can use the combo box content control, or I can use a drop down list. I'll use the drop down list. All right, so now I have my fields in here. So now I just need to go ahead and edit them. I'll start with the jacket size here. So what I'm going to do is just click on it, and I'll go back up to my developer tab, and I'll click on this properties button here. So I'll click on properties, and because this is a drop-down list, I can go ahead and give it a title if I want to. I'll leave it okay for now because we already have the jacket size descriptor here. I'll go ahead and add an item here. So I'll put small, I'll press OK. I'll put medium, press OK. I'll put large, and I'll put X large. Very good. If I want to change a color, I can do that. Maybe I'll give these, let's see, an orange color. I'll click OK here. And for the date is pretty okay. I don't need to really change anything. The yes and no checkboxes are okay. Now, I do want to go ahead and modify the last name though. Last name and first name. And I want to give it a color. I'll give it the orange color there. And here I can specify if I want to use a style. So when the person enters information here, maybe I want it to stand out a little more. Maybe I'll put that emphasis effect. Okay. If I want to create a new style, I can do so, but this is okay. I'll go ahead and click OK. And I'll apply the same formatting to the first name. So orange, and I'll give it that emphasis here as well. All right, very good. So it looks pretty good. I do have my tab stops. Maybe I can go ahead and create a nice border around all of this. So I'll go in my home tab here and I'll maybe use an outside border just to kind of let everyone know, hey, this is a registration form. Very good. I can go back to my developer tab here. I can go in design mode. If I turn on design mode, it just kind of shows me in a different view here as well. And now the person can just start entering their information. So here I'll just type my last name. I received the form. And, oh, sorry about that. Let me turn off design mode. Okay, so Jones, first name. Well, and yes, I'm registered. So my box there works. I just clicked on it. And the date. I can get my calendar here. I can put today's date. And I can go ahead and choose my size from the jacket size here. So I'm good to go. My form is filled out. I'm all good. And that's pretty much how you create a form in Microsoft Word 2021. Turn on your developer mode. Go ahead and build your form fields, and then go ahead and insert your controls. Go ahead and play around with the other controls that are in here and come right back. Welcome back. Let's head on over to lesson 7. We'll talk about creating macros. Well, first of all, what is a macro? Well, a macro is a series of recorded commands that can be repeated. So, for example, if I wanted to bring some emphasis to this line here, this question and this answer, I'll go ahead and triple click here. I'll head on over to my home tab and I'll look for a style that I want to add here. So maybe I want to add an intense emphasis. So if I click on intense emphasis, notice how it's going to change the font type, the font size, and the font color. And it's also going to add another effect, italicize it for me. So by clicking on this one button here, I was able to change 1, the font type, 2, the font size, 3, the font color, and 4, italicize it. So in a sense, this is a macro because it completed a series of steps very, very quickly, right before our eyes. We cannot tell, we cannot see it in sequence, but it happened very, very quickly. And so why is a macro necessary? Well, it's necessary to go ahead and complete repetitive tasks. Now, all of us who work in Microsoft Word, we are well aware of some tasks that we repeat on a consistent basis. A lot of that has to do with changing the font and the size in the document, changing the font and the size and the border, maybe. So what we'll do, I'll go ahead and apply another effect to here as well. Okay. So notice I did open another document here just so that I can have some more room to run our macros. So I do have 3 paragraphs here. Here's paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. They're all the same. They say the same thing. I just use my rand function to generate 2 random paragraphs for them as well. So what I want to do here is I've documented what we're going to do. For our first paragraph, we're just going to go ahead and change the font and the size. Now, where can we find our macros? In Word 2021, our macros can be found right here on our View tab. And over to the right, we have a macros command group. We can click on this drop down. Let's kind of preview it before we dive in. So we have 2 options here. We can view the macro. We can record the macro. And once we start recording, we can go ahead and pause the macro as well. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my entire first paragraph. So we want to highlight or select what we want to apply the macro to. And I'll go ahead and click on my drop down here. I'll record a macro. And so I have a few options. The first thing is, well, what do you want to call it? And I'll go ahead and give it a name. We can accept the default name, or we can give it a name. I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. I'll call this just basic format, one word. And here I'll just type font. Actually, I'll put Arial 12. Just what I want here. And then we either choose a button or we choose a keyboard. If we choose keyboard, it will ask us to assign a shortcut key. So you can feel free to do that if you want to. I'm a little leery about wiping out some of the built-in keyboard shortcuts. So I'll go ahead and click on my button here. And what this will allow me to do is it allows me to add this macro that's going to be created on the left. I can go ahead and add it to my quick access toolbar. So right now I only have quick print, bold, center. I have a macro there already. So I'll go ahead and move it over here. So here's my quick access toolbar up here. And I'll have a small button that I can use to run my macro. So I'll go ahead and highlight this macro. I'll click add. Now it shows up. I'll go ahead and click OK. And if I take a look at my quick access toolbar, it's right there. But I have to program it first. So ready to record. Here's my little cassette tape. Go ahead and click on my home tab. I'll click on the drop down, change it to Arial. I'll go ahead and change the font to 12. I can stop the macro by clicking on the stop sign on the bottom of the page here. Instead of clicking back on my view tab, I'll just close it here. Very good. So my macro is ready to go. So let's do a quick test. I'll go ahead and undo the formatting for this paragraph. I'll go ahead and highlight this paragraph again. And I'll go and click on my macro button here. So here it is. And there you go. It just applied it. Arial 12 to that paragraph. Very good. Let's head on to our next paragraph here. This time we'll go ahead and we'll run the macro. We'll change the font and the size and the border. And I'll copy this from now so I can just paste it in the description. So I'll start by highlighting what I want to run the macro on. Click on my view tab. Click on my macros drop down and I'll click on record a macro and call this border macro. In the description, I'll copy and paste my description in there. Just take out the number. So I want to change the font and the size and the border. So I'll go ahead and click on the button here. Once again, I'll go ahead and add this over like so. And then I'll go ahead and click OK. So now I'm ready to record. I'll go to my home tab and I'll go ahead and give it Arial 12. And this time I'll apply a border. So I want a nice thick border on the outside here. There we go. I'll stop recording. There we go. So there we have it. So I'll go ahead and give it a test. I'll undo my changes here. I'll highlight this paragraph. This time I'll run the macro from the view menu. I'll click on the drop down. I'll view my macros. And from here, I can go ahead and run that border macro. And I'll go ahead and click run. And there you go. It applies it for me. Okay, we have one more paragraph left. I'll go ahead and grab this one. So this one I'm going to add a fill color as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and highlight this one. I'll go and click on macros here. I'll record a macro. I'll add another button. This one I'll call border fill. And here's my description. Now keep in mind when you're storing your macros, if I want my macros to be available in all of my Word documents, I want to make sure that this option is selected where it says all documents. If I just want it to be in this document, I can go ahead and specify this as well. Okay, so just two options there. Go ahead and click OK. And what I'll do, let's see, I'll go to my home tab. I'll change the font first, Arial. I'll make it 12. And I'll change the color because I already know that I'm going to need the color there. I'll make it white. I'll add my border, thick outside border, and I'll change the color to maybe a light. I'll make it orange. I'll go ahead and stop my macro here. Very good. So I just created a really nice border with the fill color here as well. All right, so the last one, we were able to record macros in individual paragraphs. What about an entire document? So for this one, I'm going to make some big changes here. And this can be useful. Okay, maybe it's necessary for you to, as you're branding your company document, to add a watermark to it, to add a specific page color, and add page borders as well. So I'll go ahead and run that. And I'll just click anywhere in my document here. And I'll go back to my View tab. Go ahead and record a macro. I'll add another button here. And I'll just call this one Brand. And I'll say watermark, page color, border. Yep. There we go. Want a button again? I'll go ahead and add this to my quick access toolbar. Go ahead and click OK. So this time what I'll do, head on over to my design tab here, and maybe I'll start with the watermark first. I'll just give it this confidential watermark here. So there it is, showing up behind here. I'll change the page color. I'll give it a nice hint of blue here. And I'll give it a page border. I'll give it maybe a box or shadow. Click OK. Go ahead and stop my macro. Okay, there we go. So last order of business, let's go ahead and check this macro here. I'll undo those changes. And so our document is plain again. I'll click on my View tab, or I can run the button if I want to. Maybe I'll go ahead and run the button here. And there you go. Added the page color, the watermark, and it included my page border as well. So that's how you run macros. You don't really need to turn on the developer tab. It's already built in right into the view menu. So go ahead and create a few macros. You can create the same ones here. I just want you to be able to go ahead and practice running these macros and come right back. Congratulations. We just completed our tutorial for Microsoft Word 2021 Advanced. We talked about manipulating images. We're able to insert some images and make some modifications. We talked about custom graphic elements, text boxes and word art, and taking advantage of our drawing tab. We talked about collaborating on documents, talking about marking up a document, reviewing and merging from other documents as well. We spent some time just talking about adding bookmarks, footnotes, citations, and a bibliography to our document. We talked about securing our document and providing restrictions. We talked about using forms to manage our content and being able to use a form right inside of Microsoft Word. We talked about creating macros to kind of accomplish repetitive tasks as well. Well, hopefully you learned a lot. Hopefully you were able to pause the video often and follow along. Congrats to you. You've finished our tutorial, and it's been my pleasure guiding you through this tutorial today, and I hope to see all of you in a future tutorial video. Well, that was fun taking a look at all those advanced features in Microsoft Word 2021. Hopefully you were able to learn a lot today and be able to practice some of what you learned as well. What we learned is that a lot of the features that are available in other Microsoft Office products, they are available to us here in Microsoft Word 2021. And so I encourage you not just to accept Microsoft Word as a text-based document. We see that we can add infographics and various types of media and elements and objects to really bring our document to life. So go ahead and play around with the ribbon, enjoy the new interface, and take a look at what's going on behind the scenes so that you can learn more and keep on growing. Until next time, congratulations. My name is Mo Jones. I'll see you in a future tutorial.